they arrived with nothing. Fleeing persecution and poverty, a handful of Jewish families landed on Brazilian shores with only their grit and determination. They were outsiders, survivors, entrepreneurs. Today, their names are spoken in the halls of power. Their empires are woven into the fabric of the nation's economy, and their combined wealth is staggering. But their stories? They've remained largely in the shadows until now. This is the story of Brazil's 10 biggest Jewish family empires. Brazil. It's a country known for its vibrant culture, but it's also a land of immense opportunity, a place where fortunes can be forged. Over the last century, waves of Jewish immigrants, escaping everything from pogroms in Eastern Europe to the horrors of the Holocaust, found a haven in this South American giant. They didn't arrive as conquerors. They arrived as survivors, often with little more than the clothes on their backs and an unbreakable will to rebuild. They started as peddlers, small shopkeepers, and artisans. From those humble beginnings, a few families would go on to build empires that now dominate Brazil's most critical sectors: banking, retail, industry, and tech. They didn't just join Brazil's economy, they helped shape it, pioneering new business models and building institutions that became household names. But this isn't just a story about money. It's a story about resilience, strategic genius, and the complex legacies these dynasties carry. From family feuds that nearly toppled empires to philanthropists who quietly reshaped society, their impact is undeniable. We're counting down the 10 most influential Jewish family empires in Brazil, revealing the untold stories of how they rose from nothing to become titans of Latin America's largest economy. Number 10, the Hertz family, an empire of a different kind. We'll start our countdown not with a billionaire, but with a different kind of empire builder, Chef David Hertz. His story gets at the heart of what runs through so many of these families: a deep connection to community, born from a history of displacement and mutual support. Hertz doesn't deal in billions, but he deals in a currency you can't put a price on: human dignity. Hertz, a chef and social entrepreneur, founded Gastromotiva, a revolutionary organization that uses food to fight social inequality. Seeing the stark poverty in Brazil, he created a model that trains marginalized people, from favela residents to the formerly incarcerated, to become professional cooks, giving them a real shot at a new life. But he didn't stop there. He created Solidarity Kitchens, a network of community-run kitchens that turn surplus food into nutritious meals for the hungry. It's more than a soup kitchen. It's a model that empowers communities to feed themselves. Today, this network serves thousands of meals every month across Brazil, with over 130 kitchens running. One of them is even located in his own São Paulo synagogue, blending his Jewish heritage of Tikkun Olam, the concept of repairing the world, with his mission. While others on this list built empires of steel and finance, David Hertz built an empire of hope. His work is a powerful reminder that influence isn't always measured in dollars, but in lives transformed. He represents the spirit of resilience that allowed so many immigrants to thrive, laying the groundwork for the colossal fortunes to come. Number 9, the Lautenberg family, influence in health and community. In the world of Brazilian healthcare, the name Lautenberg carries serious weight. While it's not a traditional empire of inherited billions, the family's influence, led by Dr. Claudio Lautenberg, is proof that professional excellence can create a powerful, modern dynasty. Dr. Lautenberg is one of Brazil's most respected ophthalmologists and healthcare executives. For years, he was the president of Hospital Israelita Albert Einstein in São Paulo, one of the most prestigious hospitals in all of Latin America. Under his leadership, it became a benchmark for innovation and research, solidifying its status as the go-to facility for Brazil's elite. His influence grew even more when he became president of United Health Group Brazil, a major player in the country's huge healthcare market. But Lautenberg's power isn't just in the boardroom. He's been one of the most prominent Jewish leaders of his generation, both in Brazil and on the world stage. He has served as president of the Israeli Confederation of Brazil, CONIB, the country's main Jewish communal organization, and has held senior roles in the World Jewish Congress. In these positions, he's been a key voice for the community, fighting anti-Semitism and strengthening ties between Brazil and Israel. The Lautenberg story shows a different path to power. It's not about building an empire from scratch, but about reaching the very top of a critical profession and using that position to become an indispensable leader for your community. In a country of over 200 million people, shaping top-tier healthcare and leading a vibrant diaspora is an empire of influence all its own. Number 8. Eli Horn, the builder who pledged it all away. Our next figure is a one-man empire builder, a real estate titan who arrived in Brazil as a child and went on to build the skylines of its biggest cities. Eli Horn was born in Syria in 1944 to a Jewish family. At age 11, his family immigrated to Brazil for a better life. He started working at 19 and, with a relentless work ethic, founded his real estate company, Cirela, in 1962. Horn didn't just build buildings, he built an institution. He transformed Cirela from a tiny startup into Brazil's largest publicly traded developer of high-end residential buildings. He just got the market, making his fortune by developing luxury properties during Brazil's economic booms. His workaholic nature is the stuff of legends. Even as a billionaire, he was known to work 16-hour days, only pausing for the Jewish Sabbath. For decades, Eli Horn was the low-profile magnate behind a very visible brand. But in 2015, he stepped onto the global stage for a totally different reason. He and his wife became the first Brazilians to sign the Giving Pledge, the campaign started by Warren Buffett and Bill Gates to encourage the world's wealthiest to give most of their fortune to charity. Horn pledged to donate 60% of his billion-dollar fortune in his lifetime. This decision was deeply rooted in his faith. Horn is a massive donor to Jewish and Israeli causes, but his philanthropy in Brazil is just as transformative. He founded an institute to combat the sexual exploitation of children and has been a major force in strengthening Brazil's entire philanthropic ecosystem. Eli Horn's story is a fascinating paradox. A man who spent his life building a massive fortune, only to cement his legacy by giving it away. Number 7. The Pfeffer family, the quiet giants of pulp and paper. In São Paulo's elite circles, the name Pfeffer is synonymous with pulp and paper. With a fortune in the billions, the Pfeffer clan controls Suzano SA, a global behemoth in the cellulose industry. Unlike some other families on our list, the Pfeffers operate with extreme discretion, a strategic choice that keeps the focus on their business empire. The dynasty's roots go back to Leon Pfeffer, a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant who founded the company in 1924. He started small, but the family business exploded as Brazil's industrial needs grew. Their big breakthrough came with a revolutionary idea: using eucalyptus pulp for paper. This innovation transformed the industry and put Suzano on a path to global dominance. Today, Suzano is one of the world's largest producers of eucalyptus pulp, the raw material for everything from tissues to packaging. The company's scale is just staggering. The family's control is exercised through Suzano Holding, chaired by David Pfeffer, one of the founder's grandsons. Under the leadership of the third generation, in 2019, Suzano acquired its main rival, Fibria, in a multi-billion-dollar deal that created an undisputed world leader in the sector. It was a masterclass in strategic vision. Now, The fourth generation acts as owner investors, guardians of a legacy built not on flash, but on the quiet, steady growth of their vast paper empire. The Pfeffers prove that sometimes the quietest fortunes are the most powerful. Number 6. The Dayan family, the banking power couple. The world of high finance in Brazil is a small town where alliances are often forged not just in boardrooms, but through marriage. The Dayan family is a prime example, a dynasty that built a formidable bank on its own, while also tying itself to the most powerful banking family of all. The Safras. The patriarch, Sason Dayan, laid the groundwork, but it was his son, Carlos Dayan, who, with a partner, established Banco de Coval in 1968. The bank started as a securities dealer, but grew into a solid mid-sized bank by specializing in lending to small and medium-sized businesses, a niche Brazil's giants often ignored. This strategy allowed de Coval to build a profitable business away from the spotlight. The family's influence, however, skyrocketed through a strategic marriage. Carlos Dayan's wife is Esther Safra Dayan, the daughter of the legendary banker Joseph Safra. This union connected the Dayan family directly to the heart of the Safra Empire, creating a powerful alliance between two of Brazil's most important Jewish banking dynasties. While Banco de Coval operates independently, this link to the Safras gives the Dayans a level of influence and access that is second to none. The family keeps a discreet profile, but their wealth is substantial, built on their control of the bank. Their story is a classic case study in dynastic strategy, showing how a mix of independent success and smart alliances can create a lasting financial empire. Number 5. The Steinbrück family, the titans of steel and textiles. The story of the Steinbrück family is a true saga of industrial ambition, privatization, and bitter family feuds. This Jewish dynasty built a sprawling conglomerate that includes one of Brazil's largest steel producers, CSN, the textile giant Vicunha, and Banco Fibra. Their empire was forged in the 1960s by two brothers, Mendel and Eliezer Steinbrück, who started in textiles. Their big break came in the 1990s during Brazil's wave of privatizations. Benjamin Steinbrück, Mendel's son and the current face of the dynasty, led a group to acquire the state-owned steel behemoth CSN in 1993. It was a bold move, but it paid off spectacularly, turning the family from wealthy textile magnates into industrial titans. Benjamin became the public face of the empire, an aggressive, often controversial businessman. But behind the scenes, the empire was cracking. After the founding brothers died, tensions grew between the two branches of the family, Benjamin and his siblings on one side, and his cousins, Clarice and Leo Steinbrück, on the other. The dispute exploded into public view around 2018. At its heart was a decades-old shareholder agreement that the cousins claimed Benjamin was ignoring. The battle raged in court for years, threatening to tear the conglomerate apart. The feud finally ended in late 2022 with a deal that restructured the ownership. The Steinbrück saga is a dramatic look at how even the mightiest empires can be shaken from within, a tale where brotherly ambition gave way to a bitter war for control of a multi-billion-dollar legacy. Number 4. The Klaben-Leifer family, the 130-year-old paper dynasty. While many families on this list built their empires in the mid-20th century, the Klaben-Leifer dynasty is in a class of its own, with roots stretching all the way back to the late 1800s. Their story began in 1889 when Mauricio Freeman Klaben, a Jewish immigrant from Lithuania, landed in Brazil. A few years later, his family and his cousins, the Leifers, followed. In 1899, the families officially founded Klabin, Irmãos, and Saya. They started small, but they had big ambitions. They quickly moved into paper manufacturing, establishing their first factory in 1909. Over the decades, they grew into Brazil's largest paper and pulp producer, an industrial giant long before many others on this list even existed. They were pioneers, being the first in Brazil to use pine and eucalyptus for cellulose and earning sustainability certifications for their forests back in 1998. But the Klabenlaffer legacy is about more than just industry. From the very beginning, the family was central to São Paulo's Jewish community. They donated the city's first modern synagogue and the first Jewish cemetery. Mauricio's wife, Berta, founded the first Jewish Women's Charitable Society in 1915. This tradition of public service continued through the generations, with family members becoming major political figures. Today, Klaben SA remains a global powerhouse, still controlled by the descendants of the Klaben and Leifer families. Theirs is a story of immense, lasting wealth, a dynasty woven into the industrial, social, and communal fabric of Brazil for over a century. They are true industrial aristocracy. Number 3, the Klein family, the retail king, born from ashes, from the depths of human cruelty to the pinnacle of success. The story of Samuel Klein is perhaps the most dramatic on this list. It's a quintessential rags-to-riches tale and a testament to the human spirit. Samuel Klein wasn't born into wealth. He was born into the inferno of the Holocaust. A Polish Jew, Klein was just a teenager when the Nazis invaded. He and his father were taken to the Majdanek concentration camp. He survived the horrors of the camps, including Auschwitz, but lost his mother and most of his siblings. After the war, he made his way to South America, arriving in Brazil in 1952 with a burning desire to live. He started his new life as a peddler, selling goods door to door from a buggy. His customers were mostly poor workers who had jobs but no access to banks. Klein noticed something. These people were honest, but no one would give them credit. So he took a risk. He began selling on installment, tracking payments in a simple notebook. He famously said, "The wealth of the poor is their name. Credit is a human science, not an exact one." That simple act of trust was revolutionary. In 1957, he opened his first small store and named it Casas Bahia, Bahia Houses, in honor of his first loyal customers. While other retailers focused on the rich, Klein dedicated his business to the working poor, offering them dignity through his iconic carnet, a small payment booklet. He sold them their first refrigerators and their first TVs, all paid in small monthly installments. From that one store, Casas Bahia exploded into a retail colossus, becoming Brazil's largest home appliance retailer. Samuel Klein became known as the Sam Walton of Brazil. He passed away in 2014, leaving behind a monumental legacy. In recent years, that legacy has been complicated by posthumous accusations of sexual abuse, casting a dark shadow over his inspiring story. The family has since gone through periods of selling and then repurchasing control of the company, now known as Via. Still, the core of the Klein empire remains. A business born from the ashes of the Holocaust, built on a revolutionary model of trust that forever changed Brazilian retail. Number 2. The Safra family, the world's most secretive banking dynasty. The Safra name is the very definition of discreet, old-world wealth. This is where silk suits meet Swiss bank vaults, and real power is wielded in the silent, wood-paneled boardrooms of the world's most exclusive private banks. For decades, this Sephardic Jewish dynasty has controlled a multi-billion-dollar empire stretching from São Paulo to Geneva and New York, a fortress of finance built on secrecy and tradition. The family's banking roots trace back over a century to Aleppo, Syria, where they financed caravan trades. Their name, Safra, means gold in Arabic, a fitting predictor of their destiny. Fleeing instability, The patriarch Jacob Safra moved the family to Brazil in 1952. There, with his sons Edmund, Mois, and Joseph, he founded Banco Safra in 1955, which would grow into one of Brazil's largest private banks. The brothers eventually went their separate ways. Edmund built his own legendary banking empire in New York and Geneva before his life was cut short in a mysterious 1999 arson attack in his Monaco penthouse. Back in Brazil, Joseph Safra took the helm and, through sheer ambition, transformed Banco Safra into the crown jewel. Joseph was the quintessential private banker, conservative, risk-averse, and obsessed with privacy. For many years, he was the world's richest banker, a title he held until his death in 2020, when he was the 39th richest person on the planet. His empire wasn't just banks. It includes trophy assets like a 50% stake in Chiquita Bananas. Upon Joseph's death, control passed to his widow, Vicky Safra, and their 4 children. With a collective net worth estimated at over $22 billion, they are the second wealthiest family in Brazil. But the transition wasn't smooth. A bitter feud erupted when his son, Alberto, sued his mother and brothers, claiming they had diluted his stake in the family's holding company. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through the secretive family, but was quietly settled in mid-2024. Today, the empire is split between the sons, while Vicky Safra, one of the world's wealthiest women, leads the family's immense philanthropic work. The Safra dynasty, though shaken, remains a global financial titan. Number 1. Eduardo Saverin, the digital emperor. In a list dominated by industrial magnates and old money bankers, our number 1 spot goes to a titan of the new economy. A man whose fortune was forged not in steel mills, but in the digital ether of a Harvard dorm room. Eduardo Saverin, the Brazilian-born co-founder of Facebook, represents a new kind of empire, global, digital, and almost unimaginably vast. Born in São Paulo to a wealthy Jewish family, Saverin's story became world-famous, immortalized in the film The Social Network. He was the sharp, business-minded Harvard student who provided the seed money for Mark Zuckerberg's social network. The dramatic fallout between the 2 founders is legendary, ending in a bitter legal battle. But while the movie ended with a settlement, Saverin's story was just getting started. He walked away with a small but incredibly valuable piece of the company that would become Meta. That stake has since ballooned into a colossal fortune. As of early 2026, Eduardo Saverin's net worth is estimated at around $28.9 billion, making him the richest person in Brazil. After renouncing his U.S. citizenship, a controversial move made just before the Facebook IPO, Saverin settled in Singapore. He's no longer just a Facebook co-founder. He's a formidable venture capitalist. In 2015, he co-founded B Capital Group, a firm that now manages billions of dollars, investing in cutting-edge startups across the globe. Saverin's empire is unlike any other on this list. It's a weightless empire of data, code, and global investments. His individual wealth eclipses that of entire family dynasties that took generations to build. He is the ultimate modern mogul, a digital emperor whose influence stretches from Silicon Valley to Singapore, all while holding the title of Brazil's richest man. From the ashes of Europe and the ports of the Levant, they came to Brazil for refuge and a chance to build something. The stories of these 10 families, though all different, are tied together by common threads: the trauma of displacement, the fire of ambition, and an incredible capacity for strategic vision. They didn't just find success in Brazil, they fundamentally reshaped its economy. The Kleins taught a nation that the poor were creditworthy. The Safras created a fortress of finance that operates in a league of its own. The Klabins and Pfeffers turned Brazil's natural resources into global powerhouses, while Eduardo Saverin launched the country onto the world stage of the digital economy. Their empires aren't just collections of assets. They're living legacies of immigration, monuments to the idea that outsiders can become the pillars of a nation. They built banks, factories, and stores, but they also built synagogues, hospitals, weaving their heritage into the fabric of Brazilian society. But these aren't simple fables. They are complex human dramas, full of family feuds, moral questions, and the immense weight of power. They arrived as strangers, but their names are now etched into the history of modern Brazil. They are the hidden titans, and their legacy is a powerful and often complicated reflection of the country they helped build. If you found these stories as fascinating as we did, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most powerful families. Drop a comment below and let us know which family's story surprised you the most. Thanks for watching.